Hey Cliff, great to see you. How you doing today?
Good, John. How about you?
Awesome, awesome. Really appreciate you joining today. Thanks for hopping on and chatting with us. So thought, maybe we could start with just a quick overview of yourself, your background, your role, your story. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Absolutely. So, my name is Cliff Heisinger. I am the Director of User Experience for Frame It Easy, an online framing company. We do size frames anywhere from 5 by 5 to 42 by 62 in metal. Wood's a little bit smaller. But we have many options for how you can do your custom framing, matting, cover. We do prints. We mount, print, ship the whole thing when it's completed. And we've also introduced a few new features. We just launched our new 3D frame preview in our new frame designer, as well as a new art marketplace. So if you want a nice Van Gogh or Mona Lisa on your wall, you can select it, mount, frame it, we'll make it, ship it to you ready to hang.
I love it. I love it. I do need some of that for my office here, so I'll be looking
Yeah.
on your site. So tell us a little bit about your role. Maybe dig in a little bit more to your role, responsibilities, and what do you do for Frame It Easy?
I mean, I can go back a little bit real quick first that I am a user experience designer and engineer. I've got nearly 20 years of experience in the industry. I was born in a small farm town in upstate Vermont, but uh, long story short, ended up here in Connecticut and started off doing video production and editing. And early in my career was a Flash animator and action script developer, really focusing on making fun, engaging experiences on the web. Thanks to Apple and Steve Jobs. That definitely went away real quick, and I had to pivot to working with style sheets, CSS, JavaScript, and then focusing on the web design and interactive content focuses. So making experiences in different ways for people. So I do development work, but I wouldn't consider myself like a back-end dev or anything. Uh, and in my career, I've jumped between agencies. I've worked in-house for companies, turnstile company, money saving services, aquariums, libraries, worked with Fortune 500 companies. It's like a long time of that until I joined Frame It Easy. It was actually my wife who started at Frame It Easy first, working with their marketing. And then she brought me in to help redesign their site many years ago. And now it's been over 7 years since I've been with them. So, and we just launched our newest branding. I didn't design it. We had an outside agency help us, but we were able to implement it very quickly. And now we have that look and feel that we really want to have to give a better experience for the customers we serve.
Yeah, that's a first of all, love all the work that you're doing, and I think we've been working together now for about a year, and it's been great to kind of see, kind of the evolution of your business. Can you talk just a little bit more about the types of customers, that you serve, and how do you use digital to kind of drive your customer experience?
We're mostly B2C at the moment. Our front end for, standard customers that just want some nice picture frames or prints or something to hang on their wall. We are trying to make innovations in the digital space to help customers get more out of the frame making, but also some new things that they may have not considered. A few things I'm not going to be able to talk about right now, but we are excited to be releasing new things. And as mentioned before, our new art marketplace is something we're excited about that is slow adoption at the moment. But again, it's a new audience that we're aiming, not people who have a thing that need framed, but somebody who's I have wall space, don't have a thing that needs framed, but I would like something nice on my wall. And to be able to have that is something that a lot of places don't offer. So figured we'd help add a service like that to it. And digital helps with that. But along with the B2C side, we also help our B2B customers, not only with like bulk orders, like if a hotel wants a bunch of frames in all their locations, but also from resellers. If you have, if you want to offer your own framing, we can be the facilitator of that. And a couple of years back, actually launched a Shopify plugin to be able to help facilitate that for standard shops or just the individual who wants to like make their art and not have to think about how they're going to frame it and get it out to the customers or even print it for that matter. So we have different services for different audiences and we're looking to expand upon them.
Yeah, tell us a little bit more about your tech stack and maybe a little more about the Shopify partnership too that you have.
The tech stack is kind of a unique one. I mean, in terms of actual tech, it's like it's, standard servers and stuff, but it's all in-house custom coded. The the servers themselves are not on site, but we're not using like a Shopify ourselves for selling anything or a CMS. It's very much custom code, get commits with the engineering team. If we need to make a content change, we usually write it up, need review, and then get it online. Which is actually part of the reason why we met you guys and wanted to utilize some of your services, because our engineering has gotten a lot faster over the years. But there was a period of time where, based on the workload we had, a quick content update or addition could have been a disruption that would have slowed things down on both sides, whether it be getting something out for our marketing or getting a bigger project done with engineering. And we've gotten our process better now, but there was a period in time where, yeah, like a simple landing page would have been a project, even if it was simple to throw together. So, what do you do?
Right.
And it's, I will say Fastr has definitely helped in that, but we can talk more faster as we go along. I'm going all over the place.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to dig in a little bit to I mean, you're very experienced, digital leader. Love what you're doing at Frame It Easy and, the evolutions you've made there. It's like a super interesting time in the world right now, right? Everything is evolving so fast. Everything's
Mhm.
changing so quickly. Of course, you can't have, any conversation without talking about AI.
Mhm.
Would love to, would just kind of love to get your take on, you mentioned like kind of, in your intro here, just how the speed is just, the speed of business has really, changed so quickly. I'd love to get your thoughts on where you think things are evolving to, and what's your take on what's happening out there in the world with everything evolving and changing so quickly.
Yeah, no, yeah, with AI, I think it's maybe it's a hot take, but I don't know, but I welcome it. I think it really it is scary if you don't understand the benefits, or worse, you realize the consequences if you are not able to keep up with it. I do see there being a shakeup in multiple industries based on where you are professionally and what your skill level set is. But I also see the data, and I also see for firsthand the benefits of utilizing tools to help you with the critical thinking aspect of doing like a technical job, for example. The like for me, I'm a creative. Like I mentioned before, I am not really a back end dev person. So for me, I am more of the person that has the ideas and the vision and do design and the flow and the reasoning and the psychology for why we do something here or what color this goes and et cetera, et cetera. And love seeing A/B tests and everything. But when it comes time to write the code, I don't know if it's dyslexia or something, but I know it's like, especially with the action script days, it's like how it'd be like, hover over hover. Is like, is this
Yeah.
an if else, one word, two word? It's like so many little, like having to know all these languages, my brain it slows me down. So AI helps fill that gap where you can say, hey, like, here's the thought process I'm going for. Here's what I'm doing. How do we make this better? And then you have an answer. Is it a perfect answer? You have to be the one to decide that and review what is good enough. If you use AI wholesale as is, you're going to run into problems. It's never perfect, but you know how to utilize the AI and use your own knowledge to merge the two together, and it really becomes like a personal assistant with getting any task done. Beyond I'm talking code, but even just like project management, time management, writing documentation. Like there are so many applications where AI is very helpful. And I'm very happy that AI is not another Bitcoin blockchain fad
Yeah.
where it's like, I honestly, all those years, I was like, Bitcoin's going to change the world. We're going to buy everything with Bitcoin. I'm like,
Right.
can Bitcoin pay my mortgage?
Yeah.
When the answer is yes, I'll take it more seriously,
That's right.
you
Yeah.
know,
There
and
was no
there's my
real
hot
world
take there.
application. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It just never caught on the way people were expecting because too many grifters were utilizing it in, these pump and dump schemes.
Right.
So it's like, whereas AI, it's you see it in everyday life now. It's starting to get in people's mindsets. I mean, ChatGPT is still the number one most downloaded app for however many months it's been now. And it's like it's changing things. So I'm very excited to see what comes from all that moving forward.
It's yeah, it's incredible, and I think you nailed it, and I totally agree. I think this is technology that it's going to really help, the creatives and the business minds and those with, kind of experience around what they need. I think the most that would probably be the first wave of it, right? So no surprise that, folks like you are the ones that are, getting probably the most value immediately out of it. It also appears to be really democratizing coding, right? Like, so now you can have a concept and you can deliver that in near real time to a digital experience, right? Or to a customer. So it's an exciting era. I know it's early innings. And but definitely great to, kind of hear your perspective. And, I don't know if you've started to really lean into some of the AI features that Faster brings, but would love to kind of, maybe just transition to that. Would love to kind of hear a little bit about your relationship with Faster, what attracted you to want to work with us. I think it's been a little over a year or so that we've been working together. So maybe just some comments a little bit on, on that relationship and the value that you see us bringing you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like I mentioned earlier, is that Faster, my wife and I, we were representing Frame It Easy at a marketing conference when we had first met you guys. And that was during a time where we were trying to figure out how to expedite just getting things out the door. We were changing our processes, our company was evolving, and we wanted to see things move faster. So the name definitely got our attention for sure. But being able to see that we could have creatives be creatives, get the vision the way we want, and then be able to just hit a button and have it render out the way we expect it to on the website was a huge benefit. That meant that now the development team, the engineering team, would only have to review one line of code, which would just be a JavaScript snippet, and then could test it out, make sure it, played nice, and then it would run fine. And then it's like, okay, code is approved. We can get it live. And we can even do that in advance where we knew that something was going to go live and we pushed that live, but then kept the experience turned off until we were ready. So then it was just hit a button, it goes on. So being able to have things that we can design at a moment's notice, test it out in a real world environment, and then iterate off of, do A/B testing with, schedule. It's been a game changer in the sense of being able to rapidly do things. And that's what it is. The value that it gives us is time, the time back to not have to worry about translating a design out to digital. And and going back to AI for a quick second, it's like I see a lot of these new services coming out where you just type in a prompt and it designs it for you, and then you hit a button and it codes it out for you. And very cool, very amazing stuff. At the same time, one, a lot of those tools, the design aspects are, you know, pretty basic. I mean, as a designer, there's that joke online where it's like, oh, what type of website did you design today? Header, hero image, content, or header, carousel, stack of three content. Like, it's like there's like three basic web designs you kind of
Right.
go for, and you could see these get churned out. So, yeah, great innovations. But with Faster, to really have that control over the design as an artistic vision, that is something that, yes, could be trained, but would have to be a case by case basis. It would have to match branding, consistency, and it would need to have that kind of human feel. If it felt robotic and plain, the customer gets the sense of that. That was like, okay, if they're not going to put in the effort, why should I? So we need that brand messaging to stand out. So we need that human element and let the AI assist with the monotonous things. Like for example, image descriptions, how Fastr automatically can write something in when an image is put up there. Not even for just like, negligence, but just like you're in the middle of creating, you forget, oh, I need to put in this technical for SEO and all that. To know that that's taken care of in the back end, you don't have to think about it until you decide to go through later and review. So a lot of great things that we've gotten out of Fastr from using it over the years,
Oh,
or
that's
year,
great.
I should say.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Yeah, and I know we're only getting started, and I think you have a vision for some additional programs and things. But I'd like to go back to just where you are today, and if you have any metrics you can share. I know it sounds like the control that we've given your team, the ability to move faster and to get initiatives and programs launched, tested and launched and live on site, in a rapid time is highly valuable. Have you been able to attribute any revenue lift, any metrics to that as well?
Not numbers that I'm going to be able to put out there, unfortunately. But what I will say is when we first started using Fastr, we experimented with putting a carousel on the homepage. And I personally am the type where it's like only the first slide of a carousel really gets the most views, like 95% of the interactions and the rest are kind of diminished after that point. But at the same time, we've always had the same generic messaging on the homepage for years. So we decided to swap it out and it was getting some engagement. We last year did a promotion for Labor Day and we ended up just throwing, American flag, here's your discount, here's the code, use it at checkout. Not even a button to like auto apply it, although I think there might have been a button to auto apply, but either way, it's just like, here's the code, go have at it. We had one of our best sales periods comparative to Black Friday, Cyber Monday in terms of numbers for Labor Day. And we couldn't figure out why until somebody in the office kind of half jokingly was like, oh, it's probably that Fastr thing you put in because it's right there on the homepage. And it's like, you know what? I think you're right. It's just the awareness that's there. If people are not aware, if customers are not aware, they don't take action. And we have a little banner that comes up for promotions and stuff, but it's easy to miss. Or just like, whatever, I don't get rid of this. I don't want to see it. Let me do my thing. I know what I'm doing. But having a giant thing being like, hey, we're doing a sale. You might not want to miss this. That really adds to that conversion. In picture framing is not an impulse buy. You really got to take time to plan out that you want to have picture frames or even a single frame. You got to get the sizing right, pick the style, not sure about it, da da da. So for people to really say, hey, this is the time, I want to get frames now and then commit to it, it was eye-opening. And we've been able to utilize different sales and use Fastr as a great on-site promotion tactic to keep that awareness going through scheduled messaging, A/B testing of different creative, and then just tracking how people interact, which is all great stuff that we're very happy to have.
That's fantastic. That's a fantastic story. And have you been iterating on that? So it sounds like you kind of created a nice lift in the business. I know you can't share metrics, but I think that story was helpful to see how impactful it was. Have you been iterating on that? Have you been able to kind of see that kind of extends through other times of the year before the peak season?
Yeah, no, we see, I mean, we know our ebbs and flows of the business based on the times of the year. I'm not going to get too much into that, but we understand when we're going to have a busy season and when we're going to have a lull. And that's why the Labor Day one was kind of a surprise because we knew we'd get a lift, but we got a significant lift. We hope to replicate that this year. But it does find that it's like when we need to really get a piece of messaging out, it helps to have that out front and to get it in front of people. And yeah, we learn a lot of data from that and other things we create. We've created full on landing pages that are entirely in Fastr, with the exception of like our site header and footer. And they're able to see what products people are clicking on, what they're interested in going for. On our homepage, underneath that carousel, we have what we call the wayfinder, which is like little starting points. And what's interesting is the option for learning more about us, like how it works. That one got more clicks than we were expecting to have happen. We expected maybe, like, I mean, obviously design your frame, it's going to be one of the most clicked elements there is because people are ready to jump right in. But for people who are on more top of funnel, it was interesting to see that instead of going through the navigation, and they'd still do, that they went to this one option because they were kind of like, okay, like, who are you guys and why should I trust you? And it's like getting that trust factor going. But by having it there, we were able to position them around, change out linkings, change out imagery, change out the button styles, and able to really make decisions. Like there was a previous version that had 2 extra links at the end that when I pulled up the stats had in months time had like single digit clicks. So we were like, let's drop those and then swap them out with other options, which already in the past few weeks have had a lot more than single digit clicks. So it just shows that, all right, you get the right information to people in the right place, the right time of their journey, and they'll respond to it. And seeing those metrics live or even A/B testing it in a rapid fire way is very valuable to us.
Yeah, I think it's a great point. I mean, so when you can experiment quickly and at scale, for a small team or uh, a limited capacity team, right? For be able to run more campaigns, to run more tests, to test different, concepts and ideas, you uncover value and uncover revenue. Sometimes it's to your point on like there are things that you weren't expecting that actually drove a ton of value, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, just that speed of your experimentation. It's great to hear that, we're helping support you on that. And it sounds like you're leaning in pretty fast to it and getting some great results. So thanks for sharing that. That's amazing.
Of course.
So transitioning, before we go, to
Yeah.
what's next. So, what's next with Faster? What are you excited about most for your site? What comes next?
Well, I know that you guys have some stuff in the works for a future release of Faster. I'm very excited for the upgrade in creative tools. Again, as a creative, being able to get the ideas out faster and be able to do more with them is going to help plot out more utilization that could be used for different purposes. So I think a lot of what we're doing right now is more of just the A/B testing and the metrics building and just the focus on the content, really seeing like, all right, what can we put out in front of people? What do they want to see? And how do they respond to it? And then change things up from that. But really it's for me, it's about the canvas and the paintbrush. It's like we have these ideas in our head. How do we get it out there and get it out there quickly?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and I think your story around how a lot of visitors were going to the About Us page. I mean, so certainly, brand is important, telling your brand story is important, and it sounds like you're doing a great job there. So we certainly love, this partnership. So before we go, anything you'd like to wrap on, anything you'd like to promote or plug for Frame It Easy?
Yeah, so if any of you out there listening and watching are interested in some custom frames, you got something in your house that you've been staring at for a while, like, oh, I wish I could put this on my wall. Custom framing doesn't need to be complicated. It's actually a lot more simple than you think. So come to our site, get the measurement of your art. We do 16th of an inch bits. So just get the size of your art, not the size of the wall space, but your piece. Plug it in and give us a shot. See what you think. We are at frameiteasy.com. And while you're there, if you sign up for our email list, besides getting tips and tricks, we can also give you in the know on potential future promotions before anyone else. So we will treat you well. And if you have any questions, just let us know. We're happy to help you out.
All right. Well, thank you, Cliff. Love the work that you're doing. Love the Frame It Easy as a company and a customer. Love this relationship. So, thanks for sharing a little bit of your insights today, and thanks for hopping on and speaking with me. So,
Well, thank
you
you
have
for
a good rest
having
of
me.
the day.
It's a pleasure.